He just killed that boy. He just killed him.
Drop the sword! Drop the sword!
Tourniquet!
Yeah, tourniquet for the governor, quick! Police officer stabbed! Police officer stabbed!
Quick credit before we begin. The original video footage belongs to the YouTube channel I Spy Audit. This content is used here for commentary, analysis, and educational purposes only. Full credit goes to the original creator, and a link to their channel is provided in the description.
My name's Inspector Campbell, and I'm one of the officers who responded to the Hainault sword attack. When I first got the call, I had a look at the log and saw that there were multiple people calling about the same incident, which told me.
When multiple emergency calls come in about the same incident, that's an instant red flag for police. It tells commanders this isn't just a crime, it's a public safety emergency unfolding in real time.
That it was attracting a lot of public attention. So the first thing I told the sergeant to do was send people, and then I got my own equipment on to respond as well. When I first left the police station, I was heading to a normal stabbing. When we were around halfway there, PC King updated saying, "Police officer stabbed, police officer stabbed."
Police officer
Now that's not.
So, the moment the words police officer stabbed are broadcast, everything changes. Risk levels spike, tactics escalate, and hesitation is no longer an option. This is one of the most serious alerts in policing.
Normal. And so at that point, the risk assessment and my recognition of what was going on was through the roof.
Right! Yaz has been stabbed! Stabbed!
My first concern was who? Which one of my officers has been stabbed, and also what kind of condition are they in? Moving on from that, I then knew that the person needed to be confronted. By the very fact that he was armed meant that there was no time for hesitation.
UK law is clear here. When a suspect is armed and actively violent, officers have a duty to confront the threat immediately to prevent further loss of life. Delay can cost lives.
You had to go in and you had to confront that threat head on. During our interaction, there was one point where we kind of separated from one another and just looked at each other in the eyes. I could see that there was nothing in his mind beyond I think he was trying to cut my head off, and that was his sole intention. So that's a fairly intense morning. My baton hit his sword twice mid-air as we were hitting each other. I think at one point his sword hit my baton and it went down my baton and sliced my hand open on the way out. At the time it felt a bit like a punch to the hand. However, I looked down and saw that my hand was open. And then when I realised that I was losing too much blood and had to withdraw. And so I jumped back and dodged another swipe from his blade, and then went back to the police cars and asked for a tourniquet to be put on my arm.
Yeah, tourniquet for the governor, quick!
So withdrawing at this moment isn't retreat, it's survival. Police training is clear. If you're bleeding heavily, staying in the fight risks total collapse and helps no one.
There was only one thing to do, which was to try and disarm Mr. Monzo. I deliberately didn't get too involved in any other matter at that point, because the first priority was to try and stop further death and further injury. I became aware of what Mr. Monzo had done to Daniel later on in the morning in hospital. When I had the tourniquet removed, I lost quite a lot of blood and lost consciousness for the first time. I think when I came round, another police officer visiting me, I think he presumed that I knew already and said, sadly, a boy has died. And that was the first I knew about it. And I felt the wind be knocked out of me, and I felt like I was being sucked down into my bed. I hadn't realised that had happened. I thought we had achieved the goal, which was the preservation of life. And to learn that hadn't happened, I was...
38-year sentence is exceptionally severe in the UK justice system. It reflects how the court viewed this attack. Extreme violence, high public danger, and lasting harm.
I was gutted. I'm pleased with the family of Daniel that there was a conviction, and Mr. Monzo has been put behind bars for 38 years. I hope that means something to them, although it's never going to bring Daniel back. But I think we all would have been devastated if the trial had gone a different way. I felt humbled by Daniel's family. They've dealt with this horrible case with dignity, with stoicism, and with self-respect. It's something which I'll never forget. It's something which I'll take away, and it's something which I've learned from. I've said previously that it's something which many people can learn from. I think they handle themselves in an exemplary manner, and they've done their own family proud. To my colleagues who responded that day, I can only echo what the judge said in open court, which is that they are a credit to the Metropolitan Police and they should be proud.
This is more than bravery, it's trust. When officers say, "I knew they'd follow me," that's the unspoken bond of policing. Ask yourself, would you step forward in a moment like this?
To put on that uniform and carry on doing what they are doing. They saved me from worse injury. When I went in by myself, I had no doubt that they would follow in behind me, and they did. They did, and they were involved with me, doing their own tactics. And even after seeing two of their colleagues stabbed, one of whom was the inspector in charge, they didn't withdraw. They carried on going at it until they had done the job. My recovery is fine. I've got a scar on my hand. I can't quite put my thumb up completely. Still a bit stiff, but in the grand scheme of things, it's all right. It's all right compared to how it could have been.